Leo promised we would get married after we survived the 7-year itch. But on the day I was trying on wedding dresses, I heard him on a live radio show call-in segment. "Hey, host," he said, his voice casual and light, "my current girlfriend keeps pestering me to get married. It's so annoying. Any advice?" I flew into a rage. In response, Leo said nothing, simply packed a suitcase, booked a flight, and left. Before he went, he posted a final, defiant message on his social media. "You can't ever let a woman get too comfortable." A month later, however, he called me, his tone dripping with a placating charm. "Chloe? We were supposed to be getting married, weren't we? How come you haven't been planning anything?" I looked at the handsome man kneeling before me, a diamond ring held out in his hand, and replied coldly, "Oh, I am planning. Just not with you." We had been together for 7 years. 7 years of my life, my love, my unwavering devotion. I had assumed, naively, that Leo was just as excited as I was to finally walk down the aisle. That illusion shattered while I was standing on a pedestal in a cloud of white tulle, listening to him on a live radio show. "Hey, host," his voice crackled through the boutique speakers, "my current girlfriend keeps pestering me to get married. It's driving me crazy. What should I do?" In the mirror, I saw the young attendant's hands freeze midair. The joyful chatter that had filled the fitting room moments before evaporated into a dead, suffocating silence. I stared at my reflection, at the bridal makeup artfully applied to my face, and suddenly felt like a clown. A pathetic, painted clown in a one-woman show. The dam of my composure broke. Sobbing, I fled the boutique, the voluminous wedding dress trailing behind me like a shroud. The October air in the city had a bite to it. The wind, sharp and cruel, whipped under the layers of the dress, chilling me to the bone. In my haste, I had forgotten shoes. I felt a sharp, searing pain as a shard of glass on the second step outside the shop embedded itself in my foot. Strangers on the sidewalk cast curious, pitying glances. I had only run a few steps when I heard his voice behind me. "Chloe, what are you doing? Stop running." For a fleeting second, his words felt like a lifeline. I stopped, not 5 meters away from him, my heart hammering with a desperate hope. I prayed he would run to me, hold me, and tell me it was all a joke. But as I turned, his voice, laced with its familiar, weary impatience, cut through the air. "Chloe, look at you. You're always so impulsive. Do you have any idea how expensive this dress is? It costs a month of my salary. What if you ruin it, dragging it out here like this? You're so thoughtless." He had called out to me for the dress. He could see the blood trickling from my foot. He could see me shivering in the cold. But his only concern was the piece of fabric I was wearing. The air around me felt thick, solid. I could hear the frantic thumping of my own heart, and the low murmurs of the people passing by. "She's so beautiful. Why would she be so heartbroken over a man like that? It's not worth it. Any man who makes a woman run out of a bridal shop crying is definitely a scumbag. See? What does marriage really get you? It's barely even started, and she's already bleeding." In the moment I had paused, Leo caught up. He grabbed my arm, trying to pull me back toward the shop. When I resisted, his frustration boiled over, and he yelled at me in front of everyone. "Chloe, what is your problem? You wanted to get married, I agreed. You wanted to take wedding photos, I agreed. What more do you want from me?" Fat tears splashed onto the pristine white of the dress, and onto his hand. I felt like I would suffocate if I stayed there another second. My body trembled uncontrollably, and a cramp seized my stomach. With a surge of adrenaline, I wrenched my arm free from his grasp, darted into the street, and hailed the first taxi I saw. My phone rang incessantly on the ride. It was Leo. I rejected each call, my sobs growing more violent. The driver watched me in the rearview mirror, silent, shaking his head with a sigh. "Ah, if you were my daughter, this would break my heart." His words only made me feel worse. I tried to look out the window, but our 7 years together had painted the city with our memories. Every corner, every street, held a ghost of us. It was a suffocating tapestry of what used to be. I silenced my phone and closed my eyes. When I finally arrived home, there were over 100 missed calls. And a flood of messages from Leo. Are we taking the pictures or not? I'm only waiting here for 20 more minutes. Don't be late. Chloe, the bridal shop is making me pay for the dress. What do you want me to do? Wire me the money to pay for the dress. Chloe, you've completely humiliated me. There were dozens of messages. Before I could read them all, he called again. I finally answered, and a torrent of rage poured through the phone. Chloe, send me the money. 38,000. Do you have any idea that dress you ran off in costs 38,000? Send it to me now. His voice was so loud it made my own heart tremble. I looked down at the hem of the dress, now a dirty, tattered gray. I hung up the phone and transferred him 40,000. Staring at my pathetic reflection in the mirror, I let out a humorless laugh. What had I been hoping for when I answered that call? That he would ask where I was? Ask if I was cold? Ask if I was hurt? Out of 100 missed calls, I had summoned the courage to answer just one, only to be met with more disappointment. He accepted the money instantly. Then, silence. The phone, which had been buzzing non-stop, went quiet. The pain in my foot, which I hadn't noticed during my desperate flight, now shot through me, sharp and piercing. I looked at the countless photos of us that filled the apartment. And finally broke down, howling with a grief that felt bottomless. I didn't understand how our love had devolved into this ugly, unrecognizable thing. I had tried so hard. I had rented this apartment, just 5 minutes from his office, so he could sleep in a little longer, even though it meant a 2-hour commute for me. He said he needed a house and a car to get married, but I had already bought them. He loved designer sneakers and collectibles, so I would wear clothes that cost next to nothing to buy them for him. He said my wealthy family background made him feel pressured, so from the first day we were together, I refused all help from my parents. But none of it was enough. None of it was enough to make him willingly spend a few dollars on a marriage license with me. I found his number and called. The line that had been desperately trying to reach me just moments before was now unreachable. I opened our chat window and typed a message. Leo, let's break up. The tears started again the moment I hit send. The taxi driver's words echoed in my mind. I suddenly missed my parents desperately. I opened my chat with my mother. The last message was from 3 days ago. She had brought up, yet again, the childhood marriage arrangement my grandfather had made for me. Chloe, honey, why don't you just meet him? You and Leo have been together for 7 years with no result. I don't think he's a very responsible man. Go meet Nathan. He's all grown up now. I switched back to my chat with Leo. My message remained unread. I knew, deep down, that there would be no reply. I let out a long, shuddering breath and replied to my mother. Okay, Mom. I'll meet him. The moment the message sent, she called. Chloe, you've finally come to your senses. But, it's not the best timing. Nathan just flew abroad to handle some family business. You'll have to wait for him. Her voice trailed off, then she asked tentatively, Chloe? Did you and Leo break up? I wiped my tears, composing myself. Yes. I could feel her relief even through the phone. Chloe, listen to your mother. There are so many good men in the world. 7 years with no commitment, he wasn't sincere, honey. Don't be sad. If you're tired, just come home for a few days. She rambled on, her words a warm, comforting balm. After we hung up, my mind was a chaotic mess. I was actually relieved that Nathan was unavailable for a while. The emotional turmoil of the day had left me drained and hungry. I went to the kitchen and made myself a simple bowl of noodles. Sitting at the table, I remembered something Leo used to say. Chloe, you never take care of yourself when I'm not around. Back then, his voice held no trace of impatience. Before every business trip, he would cook enough food to last me for days. But that was years ago. Sincerity is so fleeting. Perhaps I had been subsisting on those few, scattered crumbs of affection for all these years. I glanced at the still unanswered chat window and decided to call him one last time. Our relationship deserved a proper end. The call connected quickly this time. But the voice that answered was a woman's. Are you looking for Leo? He's in the shower. You can just tell me what you need. Before she could finish, I heard his voice in the background, syrupy and intimate. Babe, it's late. No more playing on your phone. I didn't have the courage to hear any more. I hung up, my hands trembling. The accumulated grief of the past few days erupted. I went on a rampage, smashing every framed photo of us in the apartment. As the glass shattered around me, a chilling thought surfaced. In this home we had built, I was the most disposable thing. The thought spurred me into action. I found a dusty suitcase in the corner of a closet and began to pack. As I did, I realized how few things in this home were actually mine. Suddenly, the front door swung open. The stench of alcohol preceded him. Chloe, did you just call me? Don't get the wrong idea. I just met that girl at the bar. Nothing even happened before you called. He was so drunk he could barely walk in a straight line, stumbling towards me with a leering grin. I instinctively took a step back, a wave of nausea rolling through me. His smell was repulsive. He seemed to notice my retreat and stopped, pointing at me with a lazy smile. Chloe, you're scared, aren't you? Scared I'll leave you? Don't worry. As long as you stop pushing me to get married, we can be fine. Why get married? It's so exhausting. You figured it out, didn't you? He slurred, lunging forward and pulling me into a rough embrace. I suddenly understood why I felt so sick. He smelled of another woman. I struggled, but he was strong. His lips were about to press against my face when a surge of revulsion gave me strength. I raised my hand and slapped him hard across the left cheek. He was stunned. He shoved me away violently. Chloe, don't push your luck. I'm offering you a way out. Don't be an idiot. I grabbed my half-packed suitcase from the floor, raised my hand, and slapped his right cheek. Leo, you're the one who should be ashamed. You can keep your way out. I'm breaking up with you. For a moment, he looked genuinely shocked. But his expression quickly morphed back into a familiar, mocking sneer. This again? You're playing this game with me again, Chloe? I looked at the drunken man, at the wreckage of our memories scattered on the floor, and turned and walked away without another word. Leaving felt like a release, but it would be a lie to say it didn't hurt. I couldn't bear to hear the venomous words I knew he would be shouting behind me, so I ran down the stairs. My injured foot gave way, and I tumbled down the last flight of stairs. The dusty old suitcase rolled after me, crashing on the landing and bursting open, spilling my few belongings everywhere. I looked out at the dark night, at the dark stairwell, and felt a fresh wave of misery. I was a pathetic mess. Worried someone would see me, I pushed through the pain, using the railing to pull myself up. A gentle male voice came from above. Chloe? Do you need some help? I thought it was Leo. But this man smelled faintly of clean tobacco. I couldn't imagine who else it could be, here, at this time of night. I slowly looked up. His face wasn't familiar, but a tiny red mole between his eyebrows was. I knew him instantly. Nathan. I thought you were abroad. He didn't say anything. He simply knelt, gathered my scattered clothes, and then extended a hand to me. My mother said you agreed to meet me. The business can wait. His hand was warm and dry, nothing like the sweaty little hand I remembered from childhood. How did you find me? He carried the broken suitcase in one hand and supported me with the other. It's not hard for the Nan family to find someone in this city, he said quietly. It's cold out here. Get in the car. I'll take you home. His car smelled wonderful, a scent that was deeply, comfortingly familiar. He was silent for most of the ride. I figured he was probably just as annoyed by this childhood engagement as I was. The car sped through the quiet night streets and soon pulled up in front of a villa in the southern suburbs. After parking, Nathan turned to me. The scent is familiar, isn't it? When we were kids, you said your favorite flower was gardenia. I had someone search for a long time to find this exact fragrance. His words were soft, but they hit me with the force of a hammer. I couldn't quite name the feeling. It was a sense of peace, of being cherished. Seeing my silence, he got out and opened my door. "Come on. Dinner is ready." The light from the house spilled out into the courtyard. He walked ahead, and I followed. My mother's words came back to me, "Nathan is all grown up now." He really was. The little boy who used to follow me around was now tall and slender, his suit perfectly tailored. He was even more handsome than I remembered. "Hey, hurry up. The food's getting cold," he said, smiling at me from the doorway. I realized I had been standing there, just staring at him. My face flushed, and I hurried inside. The meal wasn't extravagant, but every dish was something I loved. He didn't eat, just watched as I devoured my food. When I was finished, I thought of his silence on the drive over. "Nathan," I began, "I know this whole arranged marriage thing is absurd. You don't have to do this. You can go handle your business tomorrow. I'll talk to my family. This must be annoying for you." "I'm not annoyed." He cut me off. He had been gentle all evening, but the way he said that sent a chill down my spine. He was looking at me with such seriousness. I didn't know what to say. "And," he added, "stop calling me Little Nate from now on. It's Nathan." Right, Nath. I mean, Nathan. I get it." His expression finally relaxed. The silence returned, but I could feel his eyes on me, making me feel self-conscious. I stood up, looking for an excuse to leave the table. "Nathan, I'm full. Chloe, let's get married." His words were a thunderbolt. My carefully reconstructed composure shattered. He didn't seem to care. He stood up too, closing the distance between us. He was so close I could hear the steady beat of his heart and feel the warmth radiating from his body through his shirt. "Chloe," I said, "let's get married." "Nathan, we don't have to be bound by our families. We haven't seen each other in years. We don't know each other. We—" "All right," he interrupted gently. "I'll wait for you to think about it. You can stay here for now. The rooms upstairs are all ready. If you need anything, just message me." He paused. "And when you've made up your mind, message me then, too." He turned and left. I let out a breath I didn't realize I'd been holding. What had happened to him? The sweet, clingy boy I remembered was gone. I shouldn't have agreed to meet him. I grumbled to myself, blaming both Nathan and my mother, but the exhaustion of the day won out. I took a shower and went to my room. When I pushed open the door, I froze. The room was an exact replica of my childhood bedroom. From the layout to the pattern on the bedsheets, to the color of the cabinets, even the small desk by the window, it was all the same. For some reason, the image of him turning to leave earlier came back to me. A strange warmth spread through my chest. In this room from my past, I quickly fell into a deep, dreamless sleep. I was woken by the buzz of my phone. It was still dark outside. I hadn't slept for long. My phone was flooded with messages from unknown numbers. I opened one. It was a photo. In it, a shirtless Leo was embracing a woman wearing only lingerie. There were over 100 messages, each a different photo of them together. I bolted from the bed and ran to the bathroom, where I retched until there was nothing left. The messages kept coming. I turned off my phone, my body collapsing onto the cold tile floor. Sleep was impossible after that. The past 7 years with Leo played out in my mind like a movie on a loop. I realized that extreme pain can bring extreme clarity. All the moments he had shown me he didn't love me, all the little hurts and dismissals, paraded through my memory. I turned my phone back on, blocked his number, and as the sun began to rise, I told myself it was time to say goodbye to the past. So, when Nathan brought me breakfast that morning, I looked him in the eye and gave him my answer. "Nathan, let's get married." He froze for a second, then scooped me into his arms, spinning me around and around. He whispered in my ear, his voice thick with emotion. "Chloe, you have no idea. I've been in love with you for over a decade. When my mother told me you agreed to see me. I've never been happier. While I ate, he chattered excitedly beside me. We'll get the license tomorrow. But we still need to do everything properly. I'll have my mom consult a fortune teller for a good date. And we have to take the most beautiful wedding photos, oh, and a proper proposal. I laughed. Why get the license first? He looked at me seriously. It just makes it real. It makes me feel secure. Nathan was incredibly efficient. By that afternoon, the dates were set, even for the proposal. Watching him bustle around, a thought came to me: the person who loves you will take care of everything. The one who doesn't will only make excuses. A month later, on my birthday, which was also the day Nathan had planned for the proposal, my phone started ringing off the hook. It was an unknown number, but I answered it. It was Leo. But this time, his tone wasn't arrogant, it was placating, almost pleading. Chloe? We were supposed to be getting married, weren't we? How come you haven't been planning anything? I looked at the handsome man kneeling before me, a diamond ring held out in his hand, and replied coldly, "Oh, I am planning. Just not with you." I hung up, looked at Nathan, at the diamond sparkling in his hand, and said the words he was waiting to hear. I do. Nathan was ecstatic. After the proposal, he cancelled the celebration dinner with our friends and drove me straight home. He had had a little to drink and was now a chatterbox, regaling me with stories from our childhood. As he spoke, he fell silent, his gaze fixed on me. His lips, hot and eager, found mine. As his breathing grew heavier, I pulled away, teasing, my little snot-nosed Nate knows how to kiss now. He scooped me into his arms, but before he could even take a step towards the bedroom, the doorbell rang frantically. I saw the flicker of annoyance on his face and went to open the door, laughing. It was Leo. He looked agitated. Chloe. Weren't we getting married? 7 years. You were the one who wanted to get married. Why did you stop? Tell me, why did you stop? Looking at him, I felt nothing but disgust. I reached into the cabinet by the door, pulled out my marriage certificate with Nathan, and shoved it in his face. Oh, we did. We're already married. He looked stunned. He snatched the certificate from my hand and scrutinized it, checking the official seal, then staring at the photo of me and Nathan. A mocking smile spread across his face. Chloe, this isn't a very funny story. I could buy a dozen of these fakes from a street vendor for $5. Do you really believe this? You, Chloe, will only ever marry me. I'm confident of that. Now, come on. Let's go home. I looked at this man, so simultaneously average and arrogant, and didn't know whether to laugh or cry. I couldn't remember what I had ever seen in him. I snatched the certificate back. Leo, I said, my voice flat, do you know how disgusting you sound? When I loved you, you were the man of my dreams. Now that I don't, you're nothing but trash to me. In 7 years, I had never spoken to him like that. A flash of anger crossed his face, but he quickly suppressed it. He reached for my hand. Chloe, I'm sorry. I know I went too far. But you know how men are, we're just like children. I just made a mistake that any man would make. We've been together for 7 years. Don't throw it all away over something so small. I booked train tickets. We'll go see my mother tomorrow, okay? The repulsive scent on him was stronger today. He once said I had the nose of a bloodhound. I could even tell if his clients were male or female. It was true. The thought made me remember the gardenia scent in Nathan's car. I glanced over my shoulder. Nathan was standing in the living room, watching me with a playful smile. My annoyance with Leo intensified. I just wanted this to be over. Leo, I am married. We ended a long time ago. The day I was trying on that dress, the day you were with another woman in a hotel room, maybe. Even before that. Yes, we were together for 7 years. That's why I hope we can part ways amicably. This is my husband's home. Please leave. When I said that last sentence, his face turned a blotchy red. He lunged forward, trying to pull me into his arms. Chloe, your husband can only be me. For the rest of your life, you're stuck with me. This is your husband's house? Then where is he? Why doesn't he come out? I'm taking you home tonight, and I'm going to teach you a lesson. He was getting more and more agitated, his face uncomfortably close to mine. I was about to slap him when a blur of motion came from behind me. The next thing I knew, Leo was on the ground, a half-meter from the door. Nathan stepped in front of me, his arm protectively around my waist. I'm her husband. He still smelled faintly of wine. The top few buttons of his shirt were undone from our earlier embrace. I blushed, realizing how it must look. Even an idiot could figure it out. Nathan's kick must have been hard. Leo struggled to his feet, leaning against the wall. Fine, Chloe. So you're using the money I earned to keep another man? I couldn't believe he would say something so vile. Nathan's fists clenched. I stopped him, stepped forward, and slapped Leo across the face. Leo, have some shame. Your salary? Your salary can barely support you, have you forgotten? The rent on your apartment is still paid by me. The shoes on your feet, the watch on your wrist, which of those did I not buy for you? How dare you say that to me? Nathan grabbed Leo by the collar, his voice low and dangerous. Listen to me. Chloe is my wife. This is the only time something like this will happen. If there is a next time, I will make sure you crawl out of this city on your hands and knees. He slammed Leo against the wall. A trickle of blood appeared at the corner of Leo's mouth. Seeing Nathan, who was much bigger than him, he knew he was outmatched. He wiped his mouth with his sleeve and stared at me, his eyes full of venom. Chloe, this isn't over. You betrayed me. I won't let you get away with this. He limped away. I had never dreamed he would find me here. Though I had vented some of my anger, I felt embarrassed in front of Nathan. He seemed to read my mind, pulling me into a gentle hug and whispering in my ear, "It's okay. Who hasn't loved a scumbag or two when they were young? Don't worry, I won't laugh at you." I pinched his side playfully. Oh, really? Then tell me, have you ever loved a few scumbags yourself? He looked at me with a perfectly straight face. Never. I'm a pure soul. I've only ever loved you. His words were half-truth, half-teasing, but I no longer cared to dissect them. I wrapped my arms around his neck, stood on my toes, and pressed my lips to his. Nathan announced our marriage to our families. His father sent a long message to the family group chat, ending with a photo of his grandfather. At breakfast. Nathan, the whole family is so happy about you and Chloe. Your grandfather ate an extra steamed bun this morning in celebration. Our families were old friends. My grandfather and his had been business partners for decades. Our families still lived on the same street abroad. If I hadn't gotten together with Leo 7 years ago, this happy scene might have happened much sooner. To protect Leo's pride, I had cut myself off from my family's resources and started from scratch with him in this city. Now that things with Nathan were settled, my family insisted I stop suffering. Chloe, dear, my mother said on one of her daily calls, have Nathan help you wrap up your work there and come home. Your father is getting older, and you're our only child. It's time for you to start taking on some responsibility for the family. I finally relented, promising I would handle my work in the city and come home soon. I thought my life would be smooth sailing from then on. But the happiness was short-lived. The day before I was supposed to hand over my work responsibilities, Nathan and I were woken by the frantic ringing of my phone. In my 7 years in the city, I had revolved my life around Leo, so I didn't have many other close friends. The incessant ringing pulled me from a deep sleep. I answered groggily. It was my colleague, William. His voice was panicked. Chloe, you need to check your phone. Now. I hung up, and before I could even open my browser, a push notification flashed on my screen. Heir of Nan Corporation, a homewrecker, shamelessly steals married woman. I frantically clicked on the article. The photo was of Nathan with his arm around me, taken the night Leo had shown up. My head started to pound as I scrolled through the comments. Isn't the Nan family supposed to be a company with a conscience? How could they raise a son like this? Yeah, they've been in business for nearly 100 years with no scandals. It's true what they say, wealth doesn't last past 3 generations. A few sane voices tried to inject reason. Let's not jump to conclusions. Let's wait for all the facts. But they were quickly drowned out. Unlike my family, the Nan family's business was very public, and they valued their reputation above all else. The pristine image his father and grandfather had built over a lifetime was now being destroyed by me. Cold sweat trickled down my back. I called Leo's number. He answered on the first ring, his voice dripping with triumph. Chloe, I warned you. If you betrayed me, I wouldn't let you have an easy life. I spent all my energy these past few days digging into your little boy toy. I didn't expect him to be some rich kid. My body went rigid. Nathan, I whispered, my voice trembling, we have a problem. Before I could finish, the phone was taken from my hand and the call ended. I turned to see Nathan was already awake. He gently stroked my back. Chloe, it's okay. It's really okay. This is a small thing. Trust me. I collapsed into his arms, sobbing. It's all my fault. If I hadn't gotten involved with someone like him, none of this would be happening. Nathan held me, comforting me until my tears subsided. Then he got up, showered, and dressed. Chloe, you wait here at home. I will handle this. His calmness gave me a surge of courage. I'm coming with you. I can do this. The moment we stepped outside, we were mobbed by a swarm of reporters. Leo must have leaked our address. Nathan remained unperturbed. He took my hand as cameras flashed and microphones were shoved in our faces. With a slight smile, he said, Chloe is my wife. I know everyone is eager for a story. I will hold a press conference later today. The time and location will be announced. Right now, my wife and I have some business to attend to. I hope you can understand. He led me to the garage, and we drove away. As soon as we were out of the courtyard, his phone rang. It was his father. His voice was deep and steady. Son, I know what's happening. Handle it. Don't let Chloe get hurt. I have faith in you. Nathan responded with a cheerful confidence, then made another call. Notify the media. Press conference in an hour at our Beijing branch office. His words shocked me. The Nan family has a branch in Beijing? He glanced at me with a wry smile. I was worried it might take a while to win you over. The family wouldn't have approved of me just sitting around, so I opened a company here. I just didn't expect to get the wife before the company was even fully set up. The press conference was a circus. It felt like every media outlet in the city was there. The Nan family rarely had scandals, so this was a feeding frenzy. Just before he was about to go on stage, I stopped him. Nathan, I said, using his childhood nickname, I can do this. He smiled, a look of perfect understanding in his eyes. I know you can, Chloe. But honestly, the moment I stepped onto the stage and saw the blinding flash of the cameras, I was nervous. I hadn't been in a situation like this since I was a child. But then I thought of Nathan, and I thought of Leo's ugly, twisted face, and a sudden calm settled over me. I looked out at the sea of reporters and spoke, my voice clear and steady. I am Nathan's wife. I admit that before I married him, I was in a 7-year relationship. But he was the one who betrayed me first. I had completely cut ties with him before I married Nathan. He is the one who has been repeatedly harassing me. A murmur went through the crowd. I ignored it. I signaled for the technician to project my phone screen onto the large display behind me. Soon, the messages from the anonymous number filled the screen. Hundreds of them, each one an intimate photo of Leo with another woman. I also played the recording of his call to the radio show, and showed our recent call logs and chat history. I hadn't even finished presenting my evidence before the reporters started shouting. You should have dumped that guy ages ago. He's a piece of trash. Good riddance. You deserve so much better. I hope your future is bright, miss. Hearing their support, tears welled in my eyes again. At some point, Nathan had come to stand behind me. He had someone turn off the screen and wrapped his arm around me, his voice resonating through the room. We hope this matter can now be put to rest. We have clarified the situation. However, for the evidence my wife has just shown, I humbly ask that you do not publish it. That was 7 years of a woman's dignity. On her behalf, I thank you all. He then bowed deeply. The press conference ended smoothly. Before we left, I suggested he officially announce the opening of the Beijing branch. He refused. He looked at me seriously. I've already got the girl. The company I opened to find her doesn't mean much anymore. This city holds too many bad memories for you. Let's not stay here. I was exhausted. I fell asleep in his arms on the way home. In a half-dreaming state, I heard him on the phone. That man, Leo, his character is questionable. It's fine that your company fired him, but do a good deed this time. Warn the others in the industry. Help them avoid the same mistake. I heard, but I didn't stir. In the days before we left the city, my phone was frequently flooded with hysterical messages from Leo. I knew Nathan's words had worked. Leo's time in this city was over. And that was for the best. When you do wrong, you must face the consequences. I was lucky. I had escaped the fire. From now on, every day would be a new beginning. The end.